everyone. Today I'm going to read you part 8 of Diary of Wimpy Kid Double Down. I didn't know what was going on, but 5 seconds later, Miss Sam came running into my room and turned off my monitor. She said she doesn't allow Maddox to play video games, and the reason she has he was so animated was because he'd never actually seen one before. Pant, pant. I wish she hadn't said her kid doesn't play video games, because I didn't need Mom getting any crazy ideas. Maddox was having trouble calming down, so Miss Sam said they should probably be heading home, and that was just fine by me. But I wish I hadn't been so eager to get them out of the door, because after they drove away, I realized I never did get my balloon back. Saturday. Yesterday, I told Vice Principal Roy that someone found my balloon, but he wouldn't hand over the candy corn unless I brought the balloon in to prove it. So today, when Mom said she wanted to take me to Maddox's house to get together, I was all for it. I figured I'd make a little chit-chat, grab the balloon and be on my way. But Mom had other plans when we got to the Sam's house, which really was in the middle of nowhere. Mom said she was gonna go into town and have coffee with Miss Sam while I hung back with Maddox. Believe me, if I wouldn't know what was gonna be the deal, I never would have gotten in the car. When Mom dropped me off, I figured I might as well try to make the most of it. Maddox was actually talking this time, so that was a decent start at least. I asked Maddox if he had any junk food, but he said his mom doesn't let him have any of that kind of stuff. I asked him if he wanted to watch some TV, but he told me they didn't have a television. At first, I thought he was joking, but sure enough, in the family room, there was a bookshelf where the TV was supposed to go. In fact, there were books everywhere in the house. I asked Maddox what he does for fun, and he said he practices his violin or plays with his Legos. I was pretty relieved to hear that he actually had some toys, because I was starting to wonder about this kid. But when he showed me what he had in his bedroom, I was totally blown away. He had a whole Lego city in there. Maddox said he wants to be an engineer when he grows up, and whenever he asks for a Lego set, his mom buys it for him. All I can say is she must have spent a fortune. I wanted to play with some of the big sets Maddox had, but he wouldn't let me go anywhere near them. He told me if I wanted to play with his Legos, I could use the pieces from his leftovers bin. That was a pretty big letdown, because the leftovers bin was filled with a bunch of random pieces. Dig, dig. So while Maddox was putting together a 500-piece Lego spaceship, I did the best with what I had. Horse. After about an hour and a half, Mom and Miss Sam finally came back. Luckily, my balloon was sitting on the little table. So I grabbed it. Table next to the front door. So I grabbed it on the way out. But just when I was about to get in the car, Miss Sam came running out with Maddox right behind her. Maddox said I stole from him. I tried to explain that the balloon was actually mine, and I was just taking it back. But Maddox wasn't talking about the balloon. He said I stole one of his Legos. Apparently, one of his pieces was missing from his leftovers bin. And don't even ask me how he knew that. I swore up and down I didn't take any of his Legos, and I even turned my pockets inside out to prove it. But he still wasn't satisfied. So I actually let Maddox and Miss Salsam pat me down, which was totally humiliating. But I gotta admit, it was pretty satisfying when they couldn't find anything on me. Pat, 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 pat. After that, I thought I was in the clear, and I turned to get in the car. That's when Maddox spotted a Lego that was actually stuck to my elbow. Hey! What really stinks is that it was one of those tiny square pieces. And I'm sure Maddox had 1 billion of those in his leftovers bin. Actual size. Anyway, that's how our play date ended. On a positive note, I got what I came for. But on the way home, Mom seemed pretty upset. I thought she was mad about the Lego piece. I thought she was mad at the Lego piece, but she wasn't. She said she was disappointed I didn't get hit it off with Maddox because she thought he was a good role model for me. Monday, for the past few days, Mama's been doing an experiment on me and Roderick. She wanted to see how long we'd go before one of us would take out the trash without being told. But I guess we failed the test because last night she gave up. At dinner, Mom said she didn't go to college just so she can spend her time cleaning up after everyone and scraping gum off her shoes. She said she needed to be in a stimulating environment. She needed to be in this environment and was going back to school full time to finish her master's degree. She said that for this to work, everyone's gonna have to pitch in extra around the house. So to make chores fun, she created a grab bag, which is a pillowcase filled with little slips of paper that have random jobs written down on them. I'm pretty sure she got the idea from Family Frolic magazine. Me and Roderick were supposed to reach into the grab bag every day after school and do a chore. Mom told us that if we do our chores, she'll let us dip into the Halloween candy a little early. Well, that's proof. It's somewhere in the house because that's just bonus. Gonna be a bonus candy for me because today at school I traded in my balloon for that big jar of candy corn in Vice Principal Roy's office. And as soon as I got home, I hid it in the bottom drawer of my dresser so I didn't have to share it with anyone. After that was taken care of, I reached into the bag and pulled out a slip of paper and got polished the silverware, which has to be the worst chore in there. Roderick must have added his own items to the grab bag because I found him asleep next to the slip of paper with his handwriting on it. I decided to help myself to some candy corn as a reward for finishing my chore. But when I walked into my room, my bottom drawer was open and the jar was empty. It didn't take me long to find the culprit. I found the pig stumbling around the kitchen like it was drunk or something. At first I was mad because not only did the pig eat all my candy corn, but it somehow figured out how to unscrew the jar to do it. Then I started getting kind of worried because the pig really didn't look so good. I figured Grandpa might know what to do, but he was out on a date with Miss Fredericks. I woke Roderick up and asked him what to do. And he said I should call Dad, so I did, but Dad was in a meeting. I didn't want to bother Mom because I knew she was at her college signing up for classes. But the pig was turning green, so I called her anyway. I told her that the pig seemed pretty sick, and she asked me if it had eaten anything strange. I really didn't want to tell her it had gotten into my candy corn, so I told her I wasn't sure. She said we'd better take the pig to the vet just in case, and that she was leaving school and would meet us there. Roderick wasn't happy. I was waking him up before the second time in 5 minutes, but one look at the pig convinced him we needed to get moving. On the ride over, I held the pig in my arms in the back of Roderick's van, but halfway to the vet, the pig started making weird sounds. Glort, glort, glort. I told Roderick to pull over, but by the time he did, it was already too late. Blorf, loaded diaper. Now there was a giant gooey orange and yellow puddle on the floor of Roderick's van, and I'm pretty sure I'll never be able to look at candy corn the same way. Roderick said it was my fault for making the pig sick, so it was my job to clean it up. Then he handed me a roll of paper towel and told me to get to work. Even thought the puddle was candy corn. It didn't smell like it. I tried mopping it up, while holding my breath, but it was hopeless. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and realized I was going to get sick myself. Fortunately, I was able to get out of the van in time. Unfortunately, the lady whose yard we were parked in front of was outside raking leaves and saw the whole thing. Fletch. The end. Part